I, John Dramani Mahama, I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity. That I will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on a path of growth and prosperity. My government, working with you and every Ghanaian, will solve the challenges because we have developed the plan with our people's support.
Hello guys, welcome to So and So. My name is Xavier. President John Dramani Mahama has just delivered a State of the Nation address as part of his constitutional obligation to the country. He needs to address the country as to the state that the country is, and he's just done that in his second coming, the first State of the Nation address in his second coming. Now, there are a lot of things that are going on in this government now. The government is less than 100 days in office, but there are a lot of things to talk about. One of the things that he addressed during the State of the Nation address is the payment of allowance to the assembly members of Ghana. You know, the NDC government promised that when they come to power, they are going to give allowance to the assembly members. And so the president said that March 11th, when the finance minister addressed the parliament with the budget, he is going to put allowances for assembly members. Now, before this government was, formally inaugurated on the 7th of January 2025, a lot has been going on, including the establishment of ORA. ORA simply means Operation Recover All Loot. The NDC, administration believes that there has been a lot of looting in this country, so they established a committee, headed by Honorable Ekutito Ablakwa, who is now the Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Martin Pebu, and a lot of people in a 6-member committee, including the former Auditor General Domelevo, to recover all the loot. So they investigated, and out of the investigation, they were able to assemble about 202,417 cases of corruption that has gone down in the country of Ghana. Out of those numbers, actually, we have about 924 emails that they've received over this short period. Before even the government was inaugurated, the committee has been instituted, and then they were able to gather 2,417 cases. So now, earlier in the month of February, they've been able to submit to the president all the cases, and now the president who has forwarded those cases to the Attorney General for thorough investigation, and then they'll go ahead to prosecute the people. Now, apart from those oral team, there is this investigation that was carried out by the fourth estate, that's the Manasseh Azuri and his investigation team, about the National Service Scheme or National Service Authority. And they have unraveled that there were a lot of ghost names in the National Service data. So it's like National Service has this number of people, but then they've written a lot of people, almost double the number, and then those people to have been paid under the National Service Scheme while they did not exist in the first place. So those are some of the scandals that the Operation Oral has discovered. And as part of this, there are some people that were part of the NSS scandal. So the president, during the State of the Nation address today, said that some people have absconded the shores of this country already, as in they've run away from justice. So he has instructed that those people should be declared wanted. So those that were involved in the NSS scandal that have run away from the country, President John Dramani Mahama said to Parliament today that those people should be declared wanted, as in they need to come back. They need to grab them down to come and face justice to the crime that they've done.
Mr. Speaker, as part of our Operation Recover All the Loot policy, ORA, I've already tasked our investigative bodies to bring the culprits of the out to justice. Such brazen theft of public funds must not go unpunished. It is estimated that the criminal addition of some more than 80,000 ghost names could have yielded the suspects over 50 million Ghana cedis every month. Unfortunately, some of these suspects are believed to have absconded from the country already. I have directed that they be declared wanted and their assets traced and frozen until investigations are completed.
Now, apart from Operation Oral, the Office of Special Prosecutor has also declared the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta wanted. Later on, they removed him from the wanted list because he has reached out to them saying that he will be available for investigation or the process to go on when he returns from his medical trip abroad. He will make himself available for investigation. And apart from that, there were a lot of things that the government has done in these few days. The government, as I said early on, is less than 100 days in office, but they've signed some social contract with the public that within 100 days we will be able to do this number of things. One of the things is the ministerial appointment. President John Dramani Mahama said that he's going to have only 60 ministers. That's include the regional ministers and the deputy ministers. In total, there are going to be 60. And in less than 50 days in government, he's been able to appoint all. And now we are only having the vetting of the deputy ministers. So all the ministers of government have been appointed and they've been vetted, approved by parliament, and they've been sworn in as ministers of state. He's also been able to institute the cabinet ministers, and we have 19 cabinet ministers. President John Dramani Mahama has also inaugurated the Council of State, chaired by the former Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Edredo Ajaho, as the chairman of the Council of State. These are just, less than 100 days in office. These are some of the things that, President John Dramani Mahama has done. One significant thing is that, 1st July, we commemorate that day as the Republic Day in Ghana, but the former administration scrapped the date and we only observe it. It wasn't a public holiday. But President John Dramani Mahama has reinstated July 1st as the Republic Day and a holiday in Ghana. One thing that he's about to add to the list is that he has proposed that a day will be added to the Muslim holidays that has been celebrated in Ghana. That's the 8th holiday. So we'll be adding one holiday more to our public holidays. In addition to that, the Hajj fair, the government always help our Muslim brothers when they want to pilgrimage. So they will, add some money and, reduce the fare that they will be paying. Now, the Muslim, when they are going to Mecca, they pay 72,000, Ghana city anytime that they are going to Mecca. But the government has, subsidized it. Now it has been reduced to 62,000. That's for the Muslim alone. That's one achievement that they've done in that was actually less than 30 days in office. That's what they've done. And then bond holders, there are some people that borrow to the government. As the government has created that, okay, we need this amount of money within this period of time. If you have this money, you can donate it to the government. And after, the government will pay you with an interest. So it's like you borrow to the government and the government will pay you back with an interest, right? It's being done in Ghana cedis, and then we have the one that is done in the foreign currency, as in the US dollars and then the euros as well. Now, the US dollars one was done, and then the government was having issued in payment. So the government is not, the previous government actually, the thing was supposed to expire last 2 years, but they've, increase it, the duration to 11 years and then to 15 years. But people said that is not the arrangement that we have with the government of Ghana. So it has been back and forth with the previous government. Now, when this government came into power, in less than 30 days, President John Dramani Mahama has instructed the finance minister, Honorable Ato Forson, the finance minister, to repay everybody, all bondholders. So all the bondholders in this country are to be paid their full amount with the interest. That made the Ghanaian American actor Michael Blackson said that he is now a full member of the National Democratic Congress, as in the NDC member, because he's happy with the speed at which President John Dramani Mahama is going. And he himself is part of those bondholders as well. He's been fighting the previous government, and so this government doing that thing is something that he likes so much. When this government came to power, one thing that they also did was to establish an energy committee. They have unraveled that the energy sector is owing a lot of money. So the independent or the private power producers are even threatening to shut down operation that will plunge the country into severe doomsday. And so, as we know, the previous NDC government had an issue with doomsday as in power outage. So it's like now the new government is going to face the same crisis if the issue is not resolved amicably or urgently. So he has instituted a committee, and the energy minister is heading that committee to be able to work with the independent power producer to solve and eradicate that power problem. So that is one significant thing. Although there is, intermittent power crisis that is going on in the country, the committee is assiduously working in order to resolve the energy crisis that we are currently having. Now, one other great achievement by this government is the scrapping of the Independence Day celebration. Ghana gained independent on the 6th of March 1957, and every year, 6th of March, there is a celebration that goes on at the Independence Square of Ghana. We know we have all the celebration at the various district assemblies as well, but the main national event is being held at the Independence Square. When the previous government came into place, they initiated the celebration will not be held only at the Blaster Square, but the national event will be rotated around the regional capital. So we had one that was done in the Eastern Regional Capital, Koforidua. We had one that was held in the Volta Regional Capital, Ho. So they've been moving from region to region. Now, this new government, the President John Dramani Mahama has instructed that this year's celebration will not be held at the Blaster Square. We will not have that pageantry celebration again with school children, the military, the police, all the service people arranging at the Blaster Square. They have also said that the celebration of the Independence Day cost Ghana 15 million Ghana cedi every year. As in, every 6th of March, when we want to celebrate our Independence Day at the Blaster Square or at the various regional centers, it costs the nation 15 million Ghana cedis for that celebration for just that one day. So the president said that we will no more have the independence celebration for this year at the Blaster Square. This year's one will be held at the forecourt of the president's house, as in the Flagstaff House or the Jubilee House. So they are going to have just a small celebration in front of the Flagstaff House. That is a listening government. That is truly a government that is committed of protecting the public purse. One thing that President John Dramani Mahama has also done is to declare his assets. Constitutionally, everybody that is supposed to hold a public office is supposed to declare their assets. As in, you need to declare these are the things that you have in your as a property. Your bank account, these are the number of bank accounts that you have, and these are the amount of money in your bank account, as well as these are your properties. So that after you leave office and we see that there is a change, now before you came to office, you've declared that you have 2 houses. When you are leaving office, we are now saying that you have 5 houses. We need to question that, okay, you were in office for just 4 years, and this is the amount of money that is being paid you as salary. All put together cannot build this additional money. So where did you get these properties for? So it is in line with that the Constitution has mandated that if you're holding any public office, you need to declare your asset, and then in a written form submitted to the Auditor General, and it's going to be there. Now, over the years, government, official, politicians, MPs, ministers have not been declaring their assets, even in the first NDC President Mahama's administration. But he himself has now declared his asset to the Auditor General and has handed it over to him officially. Not just that, it is instructed that all his ministers and appointees should declare their assets, and he's given a deadline to it. It's not just a mere word. Up to 31st of March 2025, all ministers and appointees need to declare their assets. And if you fail to do so, your appointment is to be terminated.
In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shown on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is, by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office.
That is revolutionary, and that is somebody that meant his word. So it's not that declare your asset, declare your asset. No, declare your asset, and you fail to do so, you'll be revoked from office. That is the leader that we want. One additional thing that he did also was to ban his ministers and appointees from taking a first-class trip. So any government official, any minister, when you are going on an official duty, when you are going somewhere, your flight, you are not supposed to take first class. First class, we have the economy and economy premium and all those classes in the, air travel. The first class is the most expensive. So he's banned all government officials, all MPs, all ministers, not all MPs, sorry, all ministers and all his appointees from taking first class trip. As well, he, in the United States, the US government, Donald Trump has put a stop to the US aid. US aid is actually a fund from the United States government supporting needy countries. And in Ghana as well, they've been supporting in terms of the malaria drug, or I think the HIV drug, supporting a lot of rural areas, especially in the north. So those things has been helping the government of Ghana as well, and government of many nations. Now the US government has put a stop, has scrapped the US aid. Now that will create a gap in the government of Ghana's budget as well. President John Dramani Mahama don't want to wait until the disaster strikes, so he's instructed the finance minister, Honorable Atufosin, to create a fund that will bridge that gap that the US aid will be creating. These are some of the few things. There are significant steps, there are great steps that the President of the Republic has taken in these few days. Less than 100 days in office, and these are the gargantuan things, these are the bold steps, these are the bold moves that President John Dramani Mahama has taken and is still taking. We congratulate him, and we want to assure him that the country is solidly behind him. And one thing that we pray for is that this should not just be a honeymoon, affair. This should not just be like, okay, they started well, and all of a sudden at the end of the day or along the way, they veer off the track. It should continue like this. They should be focused on, although the criticism will come, but the way that is going, it should continue like this, and Ghanaians at the end will be very happy with your administration. And when it goes off to so and so, will be here to address any mishappening that is happening in the government. We will be here to update you. My name is Celia. This is so and so. For now, we are out.